Good evening, everyone. We're gonna reconvene the September 11th, 2025 Lake Forest Board of Education meeting. And our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2.3 roll call of board members. Mrs. Rash,
Here.
Dr. Wyatt,
Present.
Vice President Starkey,
Here.
and James Rowell serving as chair as president. Let the record show we have 4 board members present. Item 2.4, just a question with the agenda. Is that typically after? I think that one kind of threw me for a loop last one. Don't we typically do recognitions after the agenda and minutes? Or am I just? We do. Okay, that's twice now. If we could just make sure the next agenda has that after those. Item 2.5, approval of the agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this evening's agenda. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
2.6, approval of minutes. I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the August 28th, 2025 board meeting. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the August 28th board minutes. Any questions on that motion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. And item 2.7, citizens participation. Reading directly from Board Policy KE Public Concerns and Complaints. The citizens participation item on the board agenda is an opportunity for members of the community to speak publicly. Those who wish to speak publicly to the board must complete the information form provided at the board meeting and submit it to the board secretary prior to the opening of the meeting. The form should clearly state the reason for addressing the board. The public should not expect discussion or responses at this board meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Now that's reading directly from Board Policy KE. I will add this evening that we will be modifying our policy going forward sometime in October to address the changes that were recently enacted with legislation. However, we are going to, until we get to that point, there will be a Google Docs form that's dropped into the comment section of the online platform. Anyone that does wish to participate in public comment online needs to fill that form out as well. So do we have any this evening?
We do.
We do not. That concludes public session or public comment for tonight's meeting. I will open the floor for citizens participation again near the start of our next board meeting. Turning to reports, section 3.1, financial report, Mr. Kirkland.
Good evening. We have 2 monthly board reports this evening, only because we're trying to play a little catch up. We approved the preliminary budget last meeting. And so we needed those numbers to be able to populate the budget columns on the monthly budget report. So starting off with the July 31st monthly budget report, we have the state funds coming in, and really it's just typical with each year. They pretty much preload about 90%. The only thing we don't have is the safety and security funds. Nothing really to speak of in terms of the local funds, other than we do now have that child nutrition funds annotated on the revenue report this year. Which is really just the federal reimbursements that we see come in. And then we still haven't received our federal funds. So 40% of the discretionary funds received compared to 42% last year, not a big difference. 65% of all funds received compared to 61% last year. Any questions on the revenue side for July?
Any questions for Mr. Kelman on the revenue report? And when do we typically receive the federal funds?
The federal funds come in monthly.
Okay.
Are you talking about for child nutrition?
You still haven't received them yet. I was curious what the time frame typically was with those.
For IDEA and stuff, like Title I, all that stuff.
Oh, you're talking about for the last consolidated grant?
Yes.
Yeah, we, last year, they might have came in like sometime in October. So, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Coward?
Moving on to the expenditure side, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the total discretionary funds remaining, which was 90% compared to 93% last year. So there is a little bit of a difference, not a ton. But again, I always go back to, 75% of our discretionary budget is our Division III local salaries. And so I'm always concentrating on that and seeing if that's healthy. And so with only 2 pays completed in the fiscal year out of 26 pays, I should expect to see 92% remaining there, which is what we have. So I'm pretty happy with that. We do have some higher encumbered numbers, people putting stuff on purchase orders early in the fiscal year. It's typical activity, nothing major. So nothing to be too tremendously concerned about. Same thing on the non-discretionary side. So we have 92% of the all budget remaining compared to 94% last year, but nothing too egregious there. Any questions on the expenditure for the July 31st?
Any questions on the expenditure report? Nope, thank you.
So then moving on to the August one. Literally no change on the state side for the revenues. Going down to the local funds, again, just another months of deposits of local funds, no significant changes there. And again, we still haven't received our federal funds. So 42% collected in terms of discretionary funds, same as last year, 42%, and 65% overall compared to 63% last year. So any questions on the revenue side?
Any questions on the August revenue report?
Okay. Then as we move into the expenditure side of the report, again, I'm going to start with that discretionary funds budget remaining, which is 80% this time. And that's compared to 85% last year. So now it's starting to get into a little bit more separation, more than what I'm typically comfortable with. So then I start looking at some of the other numbers in this report to see why are we so far off from last year? And really, a lot of it can come down to probably a few primary areas. We just had the expenditures up front in the front of the fiscal year, i.e. the school resource officer for Harrington. That was an expense that we had up front already. Of course, our Division III local salaries are going to be higher than what they were last year. And then our tuition reimbursements, that was another item that was, the expenditures were higher this year than last year. And then same thing with the encumbered. We had a lot of areas there where we encumbered a lot of funds up front at the beginning of the fiscal year. Nothing to be too concerned about. Now you will start to see though, down towards the bottom of the report, we're already at negative for water and sewer and summer programming. So there was a little bit of a miscalculation in terms of what I suspected we would need in terms of water and sewer, in terms of like the city of Harrington. And so she pretty much encumbered all those funds up front. And so this is what we expect to need for the year, but it's more than what I had originally projected. So I'll have to adjust that when we come up to the final budget. And then the summer programming, I know we did quite a bit more driver's ed over this past summer because we have a lot more 10th graders this year. And so we are going to see a higher allocation for our driver's ed training this year from unit count because of our high 10th grade numbers. So I'm hoping to recode some of those summer program expenses to our driver's ed funds. And so hopefully I'll take that back into the positive territory in terms of the summer programming. And then overall, 84% remaining compared to 88% last year. So any questions on the expenditure reports?
So it sounds like the discrepancies are expected given A, timing, and then B, expected increases.
Yes.
Any questions for Mr. Cronin? Thank you, sir. And those will come back later for a vote. Staying in report section 3.2, or excuse me, yes, item 3.2, Superintendent Dr. Lucas.
Good evening, everybody. I always like to start my report by celebrating something, and there's a lot to celebrate since the last time we met. Of course, we started school last week on September 2nd. As of today, the 8th day of school, things are going extremely well. Thank you to all the staff who've worked so hard to kick off the school year on the right foot, especially our support staff, our bus drivers, custodians, child nutrition staff, secretaries, paraprofessionals. These folks often work unnoticed, but their jobs are so important getting us through each school day. Fall sports is also underway, and all of our high school teams have at least one match under their belts. WT Chipman Sports are gearing up to start formal play next week. Please check out our website for dates and times for all athletic contests and information about ticket sales. School open houses have also been underway, continue through next week when East, South, and North will open their doors to the community. You check the calendar for your school's open house. And now that we're back in school, just want to share a couple of reminders to help our students take advantage of all we have to offer here in Lake Forest. First is attendance. Of course, we ask that all students are in school every day they are physically able to attend. Evidence is clear that students who attend school every day get the most out of school and will show the greatest results. Second thing I'd like to remind everyone is two-way communication. This time of year, we like to say that everyone is undefeated. And the best way to stay undefeated is for our parents, students, teachers, and administrators to exercise productive two-way communication. If you have any questions or you see something you're not clear about, simply call your school office or even the central office and we'll get you squared away. That's all I have this evening, so I yield the floor back to President Rao and the board for any questions or discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Lucas. Any questions for Dr. Lucas? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now we will turn to some action items. Mr. Starkey.
Section 7 amendments, I make a motion, we approve resolution 7.1 as written. Second.
I have a motion properly second to approve resolution 7.1. Any questions on that? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
Section 8 personnel, I make a motion, we approve resolution 8.1 personnel report as presented. Second.
I have a motion properly seconded to approve resolution 8.1, our personnel report for the evening. Any questions on that motion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
Section 10 other business, I make a motion, we approve resolution 10.1 school choice as presented. Second.
I have a motion properly second to approve resolution 10.1 school choice. Any questions on that motion? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
Section 12 other business financial reports, I make a motion, we approve resolution 12.1 and 12.2 as presented. Second.
I have a motion properly second to approve the financial report from July and August as presented this evening. Any questions on that motion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Mrs. Starkey and Dr. Wyatt. Turning to reports, board reports, section 14.1, Delaware School Boards Association, Mrs. Stark.
Yeah, not much to report, but just the annual conference. I think Shelley, you sent us an email about that, I think, so just if we are planning to go. And I just want to clarify that only 2 of us could go, correct?
As
That's not, okay, we have, okay, I didn't know if all of us in the same,
typically, I don't know that there's been an opportunity for everyone to go, but there have been times when more than 2 have gone.
okay. So we just need to know that, is there a deadline that you need to know that by?
I mean, there's early bird deadlines that were in the email, but I'll send another reminder just so you guys are aware. of
I
that.
think that's a month or 2. Ideally,
Yeah.
to take advantage of that early bird, we should kind of try to lock that down.
Okay.
There's no immediate, in the next few weeks.
That's all I have.
All right, any questions from Mr. Stark? Okay, item 14.2, DSB Legislative Committee, Dr. Wyatt.
We have not met yet.
That first meeting there's one in the fall and the rest from the spring, correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Wyatt? Okay. 14.3, go to the order. Opportunity for any board member to read a question or make a public comment that was not addressed on our agenda. Any board member wish to speak on go to the order? Moving to item 15.1, is there a need for executive session? I do not believe we have one. Board member?
No, sir.
All right. Before we adjourn, I would point out that our next board meeting is in 2 weeks, September the 25th. And we will again have public comment and online public comments. If you do wish to speak online, please make sure you look for that Google Doc that's going to be dropped into the comment section, and we will make sure that we get you on board. If there are no other questions or comments, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion properly second to adjourn the evening, for the evening. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Meeting is adjourned at 7:16. Thank you everyone for coming this evening. Safe travels.